Hardtails are a great entry into mountain biking. They are less expensive, require little maintenance, and they are a joy to ride. I've been building and riding hardtails on all kinds of trails for years. And in those years, I've learned a thing or two about what works and what doesn't. In this video, I've got 7 tips that'll help you get the most out of your hardtail. Some of these tips cost money, and others are free. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. Okay, this one's for the people that haven't bought a hardtail yet. Getting a hardtail that will be capable is the first step. A lot of new riders tend to gravitate to bottom-end bikes with old standards, bad specs, and outdated geometry. Often riders that buy them soon find themselves upgrading to something more capable, or simply quitting. A bad first bike can destroy your enthusiasm. They're hard to upgrade, and buyers that want to take their riding to the next level find themselves moving on to something else. These are 3 features you should consider to ensure that your bike is capable and future-proof. The first is a tapered head tube, second, a 1x drivetrain, and third, a through axle. The tapered head tube provides a stiffer, stronger interface between the fork and the frame. Almost all new forks worth owning today have tapered steer tubes. The 1x drivetrain is almost mandatory if you plan to ride single track that has any character to it. The 1x simplifies your gearing, reducing maintenance and the risk of drop chains. And the through axle, which is not to be confused with the quick release skewer, provides much needed rigidity and strength. Having a capable riding platform is going to start you off on the right footing. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about a few things you can do to your hardtail to get the most out of it. The first thing you need to do is check your attitude. Yeah, I said it. For many new riders, a hardtail is just a way to see if they like mountain biking. In fact, many people, shops included, sell them that way. For full suspension riders, a hardtail might be merely a second bike to spice up mellow trails. But many go at it half-assed. If you're going to own a hardtail, own it. I mean really own it. Don't dabble. Commit. Immerse yourself in the hardtail life. Don't switch back and forth between your full suspension and your hardtail. Put the full squish away and focus only on riding your hardtail. Commit to a month, or even a season, of just riding the hardtail. Let your body and mind adjust to riding one. Find other hardtail riders to ride with. Too often I hear full suspension riders tell me that they couldn't commit to a hardtail because it's too punishing. You'll be more active on a hardtail, which can be more fatiguing early on. But like any new experience, your body adapts. Embrace the hardtail life, and the hardtail life will reward you with better line selection, new skill sets, and a new appreciation for your trails. The right tires can make a world of difference in the quality of your ride. The tires that come with your bike aren't always ideal for the terrain you ride or your riding style. You might want a faster rolling tire for flatter or smoother terrain, or aggressive big knobby tires for steeper, more aggressive terrain. Different tire volume will also change the characteristics of a hardtail. A harsh feeling hardtail can be smoothed out with a little bigger tire like a 2.6. Want faster or more nimble handling? Perhaps a 2.4, or dare I say, a 2.3. With prices ranging from $40 up to $100 per tire, they are an easy way to effectively dial in high performance, comfort, confidence, or all 3 for a small investment. Research and try out different tires. Find out what suits you best. In my opinion, a good fork really separates a good hardtail from a great hardtail. A good fork is key to great traction and will reduce fatigue over long rides. If you aren't buying a high-end hardtail, there's a high probability that you'll be riding a low to mid-tier fork. Fork performance can vary wildly, depending on the rider and the terrain. Adjustability is your best friend. The ability to control rebound, compression, and progression is a game changer on a hardtail. You want to maximize that front wheel traction to keep the bike on its chosen line. The back end of the hardtail is going to be bouncing around in the rough stuff. Your ability to steer out of a bad situation hinges on the front wheel going where you point it. I prefer quality of travel over quantity of travel. Mountain bikes are optimized to work with a certain amount of travel. Over-forking or under-forking will change the balance of the bike. Everything changes: your body position, your weight distribution, your pedal height. Having a nice fork of the correct travel that is properly set up will allow you to handle your bike better in all situations. You will be in the bike instead of in the back seat or over the front tire. There are lots of great forks out there that you can buy that will boost your performance. I'll leave links to some of my favorites in the description. I'm sure you heard the saying, light hands, heavy feet. The idea here is to place your weight onto your legs rather than your arms. It's good advice, and that's a cornerstone of good technique in many sports. Your feet, and by extension your legs, provide a foundation of good technique. But there is more to the concept of light hands and heavy feet. In fact, I think it's a bit of a misleading statement, because if you ride your hardtail rigidly with all your weight on the pedals, you'll be in for a pretty unpleasant experience full of pinch flats and broken rims. The proper way to ride a hardtail is to master weighting and unweighting, allowing the bike to move under you. On a hardtail, you are the rear suspension, and getting through the rough stuff will require you to be active on your bike. Being a passenger on a hardtail is not an option. Learning this comes with practice and experience. A great way to begin learning this technique is to hit up your local pump track. There you can develop movements needed to be an active rider. Another way to accelerate the learning process is to see a competent skills coach. The side effects include generating speed without pedaling and improving your full suspension riding. Now that you've got this active riding technique down, rock gardens and root balls no longer scare you, until your feet come flying off the pedals. There are a couple of ways you can prevent this. First, you could switch to clipless pedals and lock your feet in mechanically. Or you can use a technique known as the wedge. This technique is simple. When faced with a rough section of trail, drop your front heel and your rear toe. What this does is lock you into the bike. Your body weight effectively locks you in by placing additional side-to-side force against the pedals. Unlike the heels down or flat positions, you are not merely standing on the pedals waiting to get bounced off. You are putting pressure both downward and front to back, in effect making yourself into a wedge. Part of being active on the bike is learning to adapt to various conditions. Incorporate the wedge into your riding, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. This one is for those of you that dislike the low engagement wheels that came with your bike, but you're not ready to drop some serious coin on a high engagement rear wheel. Try an oval chainring. An oval chainring is exactly what it sounds like. Instead of being perfectly round, it's oval shaped. The purpose of an oval chainring is to deliver power to the pedals at the optimal part of the pedal stroke. This comes in handy during tough climbs where having power at the right moment is important. It also helps a bit with pedaling efficiency. I've used oval chainrings extensively, and I find them to have the most noticeable effect on hardtails. So if that's something you're looking for, give it a try. There you have it. 7 lucky tips to make the most of your hardtail experience. If you have some tips of your own, let me know about them in the comments. I'll leave links to some of my favorite upgrades in the video description. Your hardtail is a secret weapon that will unlock some big fun and big skills. So embrace the hardtail life. I hope you enjoyed this leg of my journey. Thanks for watching.